Hello everyone. We are here in second part of our third lesson, Yes We Can, by Barack Obama. It is an inaugural speech delivered by him on 20 January 2009 when he was elected as the President of America. So let's see what he is saying further. Today, I say to you that the challenges we face are real. They are serious and they are many. They will not be met easily or in a short span of time. But you know this, America, they will be met. So the President of America showing that how America is facing the different challenges at the time, but he also encouraging them that though they are facing challenges, but they will meet them, they will complete them. On this day, we gather because we have chosen hope over fear, unity over purpose, over conflict and discord. So, this is a revolutionary day when people has the country has completely different history, very violent history. Now they have choose the peace. They want that whatever the conflict they had in their country, so that can be done and people can live peace and do some kind of a prosper. So it is very revolutionary, very remarkable day. We remain a young nation, but in the words of scripture, the time has come to set aside childish things. The time has come to reaffirm our enduring spirit, to choose our better history, to carry forward that precise gift, that noble idea, passed from generation to generation, the God given promise that all are equal, all are free, and all deserve a chance to pursue their full measure of life. So, what he is saying in this paragraph, that the nation is young, how that they don't have a very long history as the India have. They just emerged just few years back, more than like 400 year ago, when in 14th or 15th century British decided to discover the whole world. One day Columbus get out to find out India, and mistakenly he found a new world, and that new world was America. So before that they doesn't have much history. Whatever they had was the history of red Indians, but before that they didn't have anything. So they are kind of a young nation, and he's suggesting that they have to put out the childish stuff. Now they have to move forward to become more mature. Whatever the noble ideas delivered by them from the generation to generation, of the equality, of the freedom, and that everyone deserves good, and everyone deserves the chance to complete their dream, whatever they want. So he's suggesting that this is the time to be mature and accept what our ancestors said. In reaffirming the greatness of our nation, we understand that greatness must be earned. So, the greatness of nation just didn't come anything like that. It has to be earned. So, how can a nation can be great? So the people and the government work together. It has to be earned. Our journey, which has carried up the long, rugged path toward prosperity and freedom. And again, these men and women struggled and conflicted and worked till their hands were raw, so that we might live better life. So he is telling about a movement they have given to the America, the people who have sacrificed their life for the prosperity of America. He is telling that the sacrifices were important, and now it is time to pay the tribute at the sacrifices. That if they fought for the freedom, for the equality of America, it is time to fight it again and get it back. Now what he further says, they also America as bigger than some of our individual ambitions, greater than all the difference of birth or wealth or faction. America, not just America, but every country. If the people of a country start to think that their personal gain is lesser, but their collective gain for country is bigger, then and only can the country become the bigger and better. That is just you show in the lesson when Narayan Murthy says that American put their personal privileges after, but the privileges of the country before them. That's why America is great, because people of the country believe in community too. They work for that too. So that's why collectively when people think like that, a country becomes bigger. In India it doesn't happen. We just put ourselves before anything which can helpful for our country. We put ourselves first. We are so in kind of that way, we are kind of selfish. This is the journey we continue today. We remain the most prosperous, powerful nation on the earth. Our capacity remains undiminished, but our time of standing pat, of protecting narrow interests and putting off unpleasant decisions, the time has surely passed. So the time when our narrow interest should be there, then we take some unpleasant decision and put our country and the people in some kind of a danger, in some kind of a struggle. That time has should be past. Now they have to pursue something good. Starting today, we must pick ourselves up, dust ourselves, begin again the work of remaking America. So it is time to dust yourself and again emerged and start to make America greater again. He is suggesting to his people. The state of economy calls of action, bold and swift, and we will not only to create new jobs but lay a new foundation for growth. So whatever economy of the time America when he was elected was going through some problems, he's suggesting that the economy, whatever economy of America is suggesting, we will improve it, we will create new jobs and put the foundation of a growth of prosperity. We will restore science to its rightful place and will technologies wonder to raise health care's quality and lower its costs. So the another suggestion is saying that they will focus on more sciences and they will work with technology and raise healthcare problems and lower the medicines in the country, the cost they will lower it of the medicines. We will harness the sun and the wind and the soil to fuel our cars and run our factories. In this line, he is encouraging him in a philosophical way. And we will transform our schools and colleges and universities to meet the demand of the new age. All this we can do and all this we will do. They will improve everything around the India. In jobs, and that's why, and these are the pioneered things that on which a nation can be sustained. So he's saying that we should work from here and collectively this whole thing make a country bigger and better again. The question we ask today is not whether a government is big to small, but whether it works. Of course, it has whatever the government is bigger or smaller, of bigger country or of a smaller country, it should be work. Like most of the bigger countries are facing the problems of COVID-19, but countries like New Zealand has done already with it. So how the government it works, it doesn't matter they are bigger or smaller. Whether it helps families find job at a decent wage, care they can afford, retirement that is dignified. This is the primary jobs of the government. Where the answer is yes, we intend to move forward. Where the answer is no, program will end. So if he is asking such a question, if government is doing it, then yes, we are doing progress. If not, then we are at the verge of end. And those of us who manage the public dollars will be held to account to spend wisely. Reform bad habits, because only then we can restore the vital trust between the people and the government. And the people who's managing the public's dollars or public's money, they should be trustable, because they are holding not just some individual person's money, but collectively is holding the money which can help a country. So it is the money of country, so person has to be trustable, and he or she has to put their personal gain from the dollars. Like there are so many examples from the bank, that our money can be stolen by the banks, or our money can be stolen from the um, stock market. So the person has to understand how it is important. So whoever in any sector holding the money of people has to be spend it very wisely in the proper way, so people and country both grew together. This crisis has reminded us that without a watchful eye, the market can spin out control, and that a nation cannot prosper long when it was only the prosperous. So we have to focus on the market, and we have to watch it market. Maybe he is mentioning the stock market, because there, whenever there is a problem in stock market, not just America or some other country faces the problem, almost a whole country faces the problem. People become jobless, they become poor. So he is suggesting to take care of it. The success of our economy has always depended not just on the size of gross domestic product, but also on the reach of our prosperity. So, what is the ratio of GDP is not only matter. Of course, it matters, but there are other so many things that matters. Focus on everything together. As for our common defense, we reject. As for the choice between our safety and our ideals, those ideals still light the world, and we will not give up for expedience share. So, a common defense for everyone, something which is for everyone, we reject the choice between safety and our ideas. Like we have to make choices between us and the ideas for something which can help the nation. So we have to make the choices. So it is their ideal, it is the ideal which lies the world, that of course we are individual person, but we have responsibility as a society, as a community. So we have to put the idea forward. And so to all other people and governments who are watching today, from the grandest capital to the small village where my father was born, know that America is a friend of each nation and every man, woman and child who seeks future to peace and dignity, and that we are ready to lead once more. That's why that we are not just one country in a society or community, but the whole is in a bigger way is a community and a society. So he is suggesting to person, a man, woman, child, anyone or from any other country, that America is a friend, and it will work as a friendly and help them too. So we can help the world to do growth together. Recall that earlier generations understood that our power alone cannot protect us, nor does it entitle us to do as we please. Instead, they knew that our power growth together in prudent use. Our security emanates from the justice of our course, the force of our example, the tempering quality of humanity and restraint. What he is saying, that power cannot be protected only. Um, Political power or any kind of a power, we need to please. Power grows through its prudent use. If we do a good use of a power, because power have different ways of use, it can be evil, it can be virtue. So the virtuous ways of using the power can only help the country and the world. Our security emanates from the justice of our court. So using the power, it should be used in the direction of justice. What he further says, this legacy, we will begin to responsibly leave Iraq to its people and forge a hard-earned peace in Afghanistan. If you know the history and it all, America has a long war with Iraq and Afghanistan. Even in this year, in January, Donald Trump was about to attack on Iraq, but it didn't happen. So it has a long history of America with Iran, Afghanistan, Syria, and other Muslim countries. So he's suggesting that this time they will not harm them, plus they will leave their country on their own. If they want some kind of a help, they will do, but they were not intermediate this time. But maybe Obama didn't do, but as we know, everything is again changed. For those who seek to advance their aims by including terror and slaughtering innocents, we say to you now that our spirit is stronger and cannot be broken. You cannot outlast us and we will defeat you. So he is suggesting that of course they will not harm or they will leave the countries like Iraq and Afghanistan on their condition. But in any other condition, in any other country or even in this country, people who just slaughtering other people's life, innocent life, he is just kind of giving them warning that they will not tolerate it and they will fight against it. We are a nation of Christian and Muslims, Jews and Hindus and non-believers. Even we have that too. We are shaped by every language and culture, drawn from every end of this earth. And because we have tasted the bitter sweet of civil war and segregation and emerged from the dark chapter stronger and more united, we cannot help but believe that the old hatred shall someday pass. So is he suggesting that in that country, in USA, different people from different religion are living together? People of different countries are living together, so this different can make them more greater. So he is saying that not now but in future we all have to pass the hatred toward each other. So every person of any religion, of any gender, can do better in their life together. That the line of the tribe shall soon dissolve. That as the world grows smaller, our common community shall reveal itself, and the America must play its role in ushering in a new era of peace. So if we forget hatred toward each other, we can see each other just as a human. So since we treat each other as a human, and when it happens, it becomes the thought of every person, every people in every country in the whole world. We all do progress together. It's too much idealistic thought given by Obama, but still we all are doing this in a smaller way or in a bigger way. All try to be like a human, try to treat other person as a human, but still we are facing so many problems in the name of religion, in the name of caste, gender, and so many things. So he is suggesting that we have to put that stupidity, the idiocy aside, and here to treat everyone equal, above the religion, above the caste, above the gender, above the nationality. Then and then only the whole country, the countries of the world and world can grow together. So but yeah, he is the person who can speak something like that, and he can treat every person equally. So this is what he is saying today, that we the country of America should leave their immaturity aside. Whatever their ancestors said about the unity, equality, freedom, they should follow that. Then he is suggesting the whole world that America is friendly and it is ready to work together, but the other countries who's just interested in slaughtering and killing people, they should be aware, beware that America will not leave it. And he's suggesting the whole world, people of whole world, that we are human, so we should leave our smaller prosperities like religion and other things should aside, and we should grow together. So this is what we have in our second lecture. Question answer that what Obama say about the challenges, that they have so much challenges, and he is suggesting that together they should overcome it. What noble ideas Obama encouraging to follow? The noble ideas suggested by their ancestors of equality, freedom, and all that, he is encouraging his people to follow them. To uplift economy, what Obama is suggesting to do in future, so he is suggesting to create new jobs, to do work in school and colleges, to lower the cost of healthcare, medicines. So such a kind of a suggestion he is giving to uplift their economy. What the crisis has reminded, he is suggesting different crises, that how people of America are facing various problems for a few years, and how they should be overcome it. These are such crises he is mentioning here. You can get your answer from the slides. What message Obama is sending to the world? He's sending the message to the world that America is friendly. It wants to become the friend of the world, and whatever the country wants the help of it and want to grow together, America is ready to take into it. And he's suggesting that the people of other countries like man, woman, or child should consider America their friend, and with this gesture, whole world will grow together. What message Obama is sending to the Muslim countries? So the problems they have with the Iraq and Afghan, he is saying that they will leave the country on their own. But the other country or the same country, the people who are just killing in the name of futile things, they should be beware, because America or Obama will not leave them alone. As you know that America actually make the whole mission and kill Osama. So he's suggesting that any part of world, any part of people of the country, if want to ruin the peace on the world, America will not leave it. So this is our second part of the lesson. Yes, we can. We will see the third and the last part in the next lecture.